got all my stuff, baggage, leave it behind. I got my baggage, I got to leave it behind. I said my baggage, I got to leave it behind. I said my baggage, I got to leave it.
Don't just be like, stay woke. What the fuck is you waking up to? Awaken to the real.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
And welcome to another episode of Awakening to the Real. I'm your host, DiCarlo Venzel, and today we're going to be talking about ESP, extrasensory perception. So, we have that we know of for sure, right? 5 physical senses, right? And from these senses, we determine what's real. When something's real for you, some way you've taken in observing it, in some way with your provided faculties. So then, what about the feeling emotion? Have we included then the feeling emotion, right? I know you can feel with your hands and your skin. You can feel things, right? But you can also feel things with your emotions and your heart, right? Women, very comfortable with this. They be on that page, man. They're in touch, right? They're in touch with their feeling faculties. And sometimes men will say, what? Oh, you're too sensitive. Too sensitive, right? Sensitivity with feeling, right? So, let us include, for our purposes, from that just little bit there, that the emotion is a part of our sensory perceptions, right? I don't think it's really extra, right? Everybody's got emotions. Even the heartless ones who have buried them down and forgotten how to feel. Well, actually interesting though. Okay, well, you have people that can't see, right? You have people who can't smell or something. I mean, you have people that have issues, right? So what about our people who can't really feel, heartless people? Maybe we should have empathy on them. Maybe they're like, emotionally retarded people, for sure. Like they're just unable, for whatever reason, to process the emotion on a level. There's for sure imbalances, right? And I think for me that's something else, to where you're just so logically in your head to where you just don't process emotion from a feeling perspective. You're just like, oh, I have this emotion. Okay. What should I do? Very logical with your emotions. That's because you actually feel it and process it in a way. Not that guy. I'm kind of like that guy. No. I'm talking about people who just can't feel shit. I don't know if we're gonna put them in the narcissistic category. I mean, I'm sure it could be a thing with them, but I don't know. Maybe a narcissist does feel and he just doesn't give a shit. I don't know. So, anyways, getting back to our faculties. So, if an emotion is a feeling, right? So then how do we get into the extra? Um, so with an inner knowing, right? An emotion carries a information. If you have an emotion and you have to kind of break it down in your head if you're into that. I want to explore this feeling of emotions even more because because you, just in the same way that you can think about something, you can feel it out, you can feel about it, you can feel your way through a situation just as you can, logically process through it. What do I mean by feeling through a situation? It means like the silence. In the silence, you start paying attention to something else, right? When you're using your senses, you kind of sometimes, I mean, yeah, you can use all of them at the same time for sure. You watch a movie, you got to get all the information for sure. But like when you're focused on one of them, and you put all of your attention on one of them, right? Then it's enhanced. So when we're sitting in the silence, right? And we've kind of taken our attention away from our thoughts, you can focus them then on your feeling and your breathing, like the breathing, you feel the breath, and it's like all this inner thing that happens with bringing information in from that emotional sense, right? Because we said that the emotion is the sixth sense. So, just like you're able to see and hear, then how do you bring in information then from this sixth sense? And I think that's where we get into the extra, because I think most of us are going through life reacting to emotions, but not listening to them, right? To react to an emotion and to actually listen to the emotion. So the reaction is, I was angry, so I did this. I was happy, so I did this. I was sad, so I did nothing. Or whatever, But to actually just sit and not get into the thoughts about the emotion, not getting into the thoughts that are reacting and commenting on the emotion, but just with the emotion. There's a difference. I think there's a lot that we can learn from our emotions because they're trying to tell us something. Of course, they're trying to tell you that you may feel whatever way about whatever, right? But there's more to that, It's more to why you feel that way. There's more to, so much information. And then taking it a step further, right, from just present events or past events that you may have been a part of, but taking it a step further to be like, you can direct your feeling faculty just as you can direct your sight or your thoughts or your hearing, like what do you want to hear? You're trying to focus on something. So how do you focus then your emotions to see how you feel about a thing? Think about the thing, physical thing or situation or whatever it is. And you sit and you watch, you watch your inner world. But we'll get into like Jedi training and whatnot in another video. But that's just to kind of dip your feet in it. So the emotion is faster. We are more feeling creatures than thinking creatures, really. We are. If you think about it. I mean, balance for sure. The extrasensories, an inner knowing that is independent of your six senses, or independent of your five senses, right? But I want to say independent of your six senses because I said that the sixth sense isn't really extra because everybody has an emotion. So with your spiritual sight, spiritual hearing, your inner knowing, these extra sensories, you can pick up information. Some would say past and future, but future's tricky. It's like we'll get into that probably in another video because it's just vast about the possibilities, right? I mean, you could read a potential possibility based on the present energy of now, right? And has a trajectory, basically. Say the energy is traveling on a path. With chaos theory, if something is traveling on a path, any little thing can, knock it off of that path. And then with chaos theory, you're projecting the trajectory based on the little nuances. So, all of that stuff goes into effect with like predicting the future. So, you can't ever really be like, this is for sure going to happen because at any given moment, anyone can make a decision given free will. So, that shit's real. So, don't be like going to these psychics and stuff. Be like, oh yeah, this is for sure going to happen. Yeah, so that's another video because that gets really deep. So, but your facilities, right? Your extra sensory perception. We will get into all of this because I think that it's important in being a complete person that we all have these abilities, and we can all access them with training, with practice, right? Just like a muscle. And I think that opening our mind to these possibilities will bring us to the facts, bring us to the place within ourselves to where we can start to label these phenomena, identify these phenomena, expand, right? So instead of having these like overly like religious ideas about your spiritual side and your spiritual, I like to be scientific with it, that's why I'm talking ESP. So you have energy, right? We've talked about energy, and everything has an energetic field in physics and whatnot, right? And people's emotions leave a footprint in space and time. Strong emotional event can happen in a place, and after the event, that energy is there. You think that it's possible that energy could also precede the event. And then we, as these feeling beings who are able to feel emotions, and emotions have information, maybe we're able to read energy. I think we're able to feel energy and pick up information from energy in a way that we haven't really gotten that deep into, right? Because if you think about scrying, or you can take someone's clothing to someone and they can really tell you about that person, right? Their energy was literally left on their clothes. A home carries a feeling based on who is living there, right? You feel a certain way when you walk into someone's house because they've been living there and their energy has gotten into the fabric of the area, right? So, okay, so getting to know things through experiences, right? And recognizing communications from your extrasensories, because you have the commentary, and then you have like imagination, right? Your imagination, right? You can picture something in your third eye, right? That faculty of imagining with your third eye is a projection screen there, and you can receive images like an actual third eye. You know what I'm saying? And it comes with meditation. It comes with different breathing exercises. I'll get into some of that in some of my videos, actually, for sure, because I've been talking a lot about what it comes with. Oh, you gotta do meditation to practice. So I'll get into some of the stuff that I've practiced throughout the world, living, and hope that it helps you. So the third eye, it's real, you know. It's just like your imagination, and that's why it's funny when you are working with your precognitive abilities and things of this nature. Feels like you're imagining it. It feels like you're making it up. It feels like it's coming from that same place that you make a story up from. And as a writer, I can say, feels like it came from there. Because I'll be like, dude, this just sounds like I'm telling a story. It sounds cool. But then they'll be like, no, that's what it was. So it's in you to work that as a muscle, right? All muscles, you work it and it gets stronger. And you don't work it and it fucking atrophies and you just can't fucking use that shit. You become fucking blind spiritually. Wake up, bitches. Wake the fuck up. For real. For real. Like, I don't know what y'all been using that word for, stay woke and shit. Like, let's get woke to the man and shit. And let's get woke to oppression and shit. Great. Great. But you can wake up in a fucking dream. Okay? Don't act like you ain't never had no motherfucking dream when you woke up and your ass was still dreaming. So don't just be like, stay woke. What the fuck is you waking up to? Awaken to the real. Ah, that's the level we on, y'all. So, getting back to our extrasensory abilities and using them like a muscle and working on them so that they're stronger and we get more familiar with them and making them real to the mind, forming that habit in the mind to be able to work it, then it becomes more real. So, some people are of the mind that, people are born with these abilities, and some people's abilities work this way, and some people's abilities work that way. Um, I'm of the mind that we just so happen to receive the information through whatever facility is most comfortable to us, i.e., vision, i.e., hearing, i.e., knowing, i.e., feeling. Um, and then that just becomes the way that we relate to it. But I think that in actuality, we have this whole being, right, that is able to simultaneously have a full experience of whatever that precognition is, whatever that experience is, to where you can feel it, taste it, touch it, like I was there. You know, but that's on a whole other level, right? Um, but so we're baby steps right now. It's like, just like dip your head in the water first. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just like jump in swimming like that. Okay, so talk about emotion traveling. So then, say that there is a vibrational level for emotion, and then emotions have different vibrations, right? So then, thoughts, right? Think thoughts then have another vibration, okay? So, just as a emotion can travel and you can pick up an emotion from another person, um, you can feel what someone's feeling. Not just with empathy, right? Because I think empathy can get you there. But then there's an actual, just like, you're not even trying to pick up someone's emotions, and it's just like, ah. And then you figure out later that it was from someone else. So then thoughts too, then, that's why I say it's like ideas, you know. It's interesting that we've entered this phase where we put um, can put a copyright on an idea, because ideas are kind of out there, right? Like I'm for sure, like I've had a couple of ideas where I haven't told anyone about, and I've seen it later, like, oh wow, they made that already. So, we can pick up, so not just only that with ideas, but like telepathy then, right? Is telepathy a thing? Yeah, for sure. So then emotions have so you have an extrasensory feeling for emotions, then you have an extrasensory for your thoughts, or receiving audio channels through your conscious mind. Um, so that's another one. Um, and then the visual aspect, right? You've got the third eye, where you're able to actually see images. Um, And then that goes with the projecting of an image to another person. So then would you say that was different then if I was able to project an image to someone versus projecting an audible thought, right? It was the same faculty. But it's a thing. All of them, for sure. You know, we just work on the level we can work at. So, so then in your life, in your own life, if you have any curiosity for these things, I highly, highly suggest you to begin to search. I think that practicing to develop your extrasensory perceptions is important. So first, you have to prove to yourself that it's real in whatever way you got to do that, or prove that it's not, or whatever you got to prove, to yourself. Seek for the answers. If you seek, you shall find. If you say to yourself that I want to find out if this thing is real, and you diligently look, something inside you will show you the way. And I know it. And that's what I'm about, I'm not about like, somebody calling me and me doing like a spread for them or something, like, I don't know if I don't have that kind of patience with people. So I just want you to find your own like guide inside yourself, Honestly, I feel like a lot of the people out here who are depending on the lost are doing a disservice and discredit to the true seekers on the path, Not everybody, and I'm not going to say that, it's wrong to make money from spirituality, but just there's a lot going on in the spiritual communities that's just like, if you don't know any better, man, you'll be all up in that shit. We won't get into that in this particular video. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for tuning in for another episode. More coming up.